Hi there, welcome to the Ecofina Financial Channel. My name is Philip, and as usual, I'll take you through a major events in the global economy. Remember, click the subscribe button so that you can get regular updates from this channel. What we do is to provide insights into economic news and events. So today we'll be looking at Nigeria's recently released inflation rate figure by the National Bureau of Statistics, (NBS). So it's titled Nigeria's inflation rate improves to 16.63%. Now it will be very important to explain or to give a background to what this figure means because some might misinterpret it. So when we talk about inflation rates, we are only talking about the general increase in the prices of goods and services. So whether there's a reduction in that rate or an increase, is still talking about an increase in rate. So it can be so when we talk about that it has improved to 16.63%, we are not in any way saying that the prices are now are now coming down, which would mean deflation. In another video which we've published, we try to make that distinction, but it seems people still confuse it sometimes. So inflation is different from deflation. Inflation only refers to increase in prices, while deflation refers to reduction in prices. So a reduction to 16.63% from 17.01% in August 2021 only means that prices are still increasing, but not at the same rate at which it was before. We've considered that distinction important because so that the interpretation of whatever we talk about here will also be clear. So that is it. So there has been an improvement in Nigeria's inflation rate, but it's still higher than what even the central bank would normally target, higher than what even the budget, the target of the government is, which we'll also get to in a bit. So when the National Bureau of Statistics released the inflation report, it shows that for the sixth consecutive month, inflation has been on the decline, which means that prices are increasing but not at the same rate as before. So it is now at 16.63%. In March, where it reached almost its highest, it was 18.17% in March. But now it's at 16.63%. And when we look further and try to break it down into the food sub index, the food sub index also improved to 19.57% in September 2021. That's from 20.3% in August this year. So the food sub index, of course, has always been the major driver, and the biggest increases again were recorded in basic food products: milk, cheese, eggs, bread, cereals, fish, yam, coffee. These are basic products, and that's where the increase has hit again. But when you look at the non-core, the core sub index, you see that it is the price of gas that actually leads the way there, which is no surprise to many because the price of gas has been on the increase in recent times. So the Nigerian government, of course, must be excited by that figure because their target for next year, according for inflation, when released at the budget presentation last year, is 13%. So that looks like it's a realistic figure, given that we're already at 16.63% as at the end of September this year. So many factors actually drive inflation. If we try to look at some of them, it can sometimes be as a result of an expansionary monetary policy. Sometimes it's because taxes are reduced. Sometimes because of rising salaries and wages, which means that people have more purchasing power. And sometimes it's the cost of production materials, raw materials. But in Nigeria, of course, we know taxes have not been on the decline, no, and salaries have not been rising. So again, it's the cost, majorly the cost of production material, cost of raw materials, that has been driving the inflation rate. Also, there has been increased government intervention, some due to the coronavirus pandemic, some just because there are critical sectors where the government needs to, intervene. So the cost of raw materials, again, which is probably most likely the major driver, is influenced also by the foreign exchange challenge in Nigeria. A lot of people import a lot. If you see the import-export balance, Nigeria imports much more than it imports. So this again means that the prices of goods are going up even without the corresponding foreign exchange price indeed increasing. Because by the time it's changed to naira, then it becomes a different story, and prices are driven up as a result of that. So again, just to reiterate that fact, that the decline in the inflation rate does not mean that prices are coming down. It does not mean that. It only means that prices are rising at a slower rate than before. And we're making that distinction so that it's clear. And of course, it can be clear to everybody. So the decline in the inflation rate in September, of course, shows that there's a slight improvement in the state of the Nigerian economy, but it is no, nobody, you won't even feel it now because prices are still rising, just at a slower rate. I know many Nigerians are looking forward to better news, but of course, at least it's something to, I don't know if to use the word celebrate now, or something to, give some little optimism that at least there's a bit of improvement in the economy. Yes, we want more, and of course, where the prices are right now, we would probably prefer that they start coming down. But that, will be better tackled if the foreign exchange crisis is resolved. So that's it on the globe on this edition. We hope to see you next time on this channel. Remember, click the subscribe button, and we'll be glad to see you next time.